that could be like the beginning of a song. Which kind of song would be?
Something to do with racing or running.
Like the belly song with dreams, like kind of happy usually.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself first and then your music? If you want to introduce to him and if you want to introduce him to us, how would you say about him and his music?
Well, this is David Best. He's the guitarist. And he also sings and he writes all the lyrics. He's a lyricist.
And this is Stephen Lewis, who plays keyboards and programs for Fujiya Miyagi. And Matt, who's not here, plays bass.
And which things have you learned one from the other?
There's too many for you, isn't there?
During his journey.
Like a mentor, really, for him.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of musically, because when we started, it was myself and Steve, and he was good at things I wasn't, and I was kind of good at things he wasn't. So he comes from more electronic background, and I was used to writing words and sort of bits of songs and stuff. So together we kind of sort of hopefully complement each other.
Yeah. Originally, I was sort of doing techno music with somebody else, so it's quite nice to work with someone who's into doing lyrics and stuff in a good way. So,
which kind of techno, like Detroit techno? Or?
Yeah, sort of really to walk records, electronica like Aphex Twin, Square Pusher, that kind of thing. But I wasn't very good at it.
Ward stuff.
And Walk Records, I love it. Yeah.
Did you release anything? Did you release any record?
Did I release any records?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't good enough.
Oh shit!
On my own site to collaborate with him.
So you are a team in a way.
Yeah.
You feed each other.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not good enough on my own.
But I hardly set the world alight before either. So
what?
I hardly set the world alight before. So it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of worked out.
How would be like the world in your hands?
Sorry,
like how you imagine would be the world if it were in your hands?
If the world was in my hands?
Yeah, which kind of world would be?
Well, so the obvious things about no wars and stuff. But I'd probably, I don't know. I'd probably stop to a lot of music.
Full of records, record shops.
Yeah, I'd
bring
I
back
don't know.
vinyl.
Just try and stop the rain. Don't know. It's a tricky one. I haven't thought about that world domination kind of thing too much. So probably much of a muchness because we probably do it quite badly. I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think music is about imagination?
Yeah, definitely. I think. I don't think you have to be. You don't have to practice every night on your guitar doing guitar solos. I think if you've got a good idea, it doesn't really matter how it's presented. Obviously that helps, but a good idea shines through.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think it's all about that.
And which would be like the last landscape in terms of music you have discovered? Like any new step is coming?
What, in terms of other artists or just style? Style?
You as a band, like in your process as a band, if you are discovering new landscapes.
Yeah, well, I mean, sound-wise, we've kind of, it's grown and it is what it is. But there's always room for different things. Like we've just done a song with like an R&B beat, and that's obviously R&B is not particularly new, but combining it's kind of that thing that everyone says. It's when you combine different elements, then you kind of can get something new now. Because the piano's been invented, the guitar's been invented. It's very hard to do something brand new. So it's just combining things and putting as much of yourself in it as well. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, we've just got a drummer who's started. He's not playing tonight, but he's going to play with us hopefully starting next year. So that's changed things a lot. And Dave's introduced me to a lot of French pop music, sort of like, and Serge Gainsbourg and all that kind of stuff, which is quite a new. Sort of that's creeping in a little bit, I think, especially with the drumming. So
it's amazing music there in the French.
So much. And sometimes it's just like one-off singles from the '60s, and they go away. It's really interesting. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Do you think like before, like years ago, like people used to be more focused in music than now? And it seems that everything goes like really fast. And
I think that's to do with, I suppose, the nature of how people get music, like downloading you know, and it's maybe the album's not so important as it was. You know, you used to get an album and listen to it, and even if there was a couple of songs you didn't like, by the end of the year, listen to it all the time, you did, you know, which is a bit of a shame. But it does enable people to listen to a wider variety of stuff easier. So it's pros and cons, I suppose.
Well, even the concerts, like they used to be like longer. In festivals are like a metaphor of like the short size concerts, or the concerts are not as long as they used to be.
Right.
How much time you need to develop a gig, a proper gig?
What for us to?
Yeah, for you as a band. Like.
Well, we play so much at the moment. It's just, you know, we can just do it. But I mean, it took a while. I think once we established what we wanted to sound like, and we achieved that, it's kind of everything else kind of falls into place. But the struggle is to decide what you want to be like, or not even that, 'cause that sounds contrived, but just how you are, and if you like it, if you want to do it. So, but for the first few years, we didn't do any shows or anything, so we didn't think we'd probably do shows. We thought it'd be more like just records. But then we started to do shows, and it kind of developed, and that's how we are now.
So like the interaction of showing your work to audiences, how that influenced your music, to your process?
Massively for probably the last album we did, because the first album we did was very electronic, and then like Dave said, we suddenly had to perform it live, so it really influenced the last album, Transparent Things.
Yeah, and it's
heavily at the moment.
But it's, when you can't, sometimes you can't play really subtle. Sometimes the subtleness of music gets a bit lost when you're playing. You know, so sometimes you just got to bang people over the head, and but it's still doing what we want to do. It's not like, oh, I wonder what they want to listen to, let's do that. Not at all. But it's just, you just kind of see what works, and some songs, some slower songs, maybe we still record them, but we maybe don't play them live, and we just play the faster ones and the more exciting ones. But especially at festivals, you know, there's so much going on. No one wants to go, oh, this is my acoustic number. I'll be like, oh God. For us, anyway.
Which is like the highlight of the festival for you, like as an audience?
Well, this festival, well, we saw Erasure.
What?
Erasure.
Erasure, yeah, you
They were well funny.
Oh, I missed them.
They were like, so for me, the Erasure and the Fall, probably, two like-minded bands.
Do you have any flashback, like, listen to them?
Sorry?
Do you suffer any flashback?
What, Erasure?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wasn't a massive fan until yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
So,
like,
but we were talking before, saying, how many songs do you know? And we think, oh, we just know one song. And every song we go, we know this one.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
And the first time you probably listened that song, you were like really another person.
Yeah,
it was like
kind of nostalgia.
But other groups, we saw Electricpicnictv. They were really good. Caught the end of Björk, which was really special.
Beautiful,
the hyper ballad, which is good.
So Jarvis Cocker
was good.
Really good.
Just saw the Aliens.
Oh yeah, the Aliens. Just come from
there. I was supposed to interview them, but they never came. Like it was cancelled, I think. It was great.
Yeah, they were good.
Really good. Yeah,
he's got this like a fan in front of him, so all his hair goes like that.
Wow.
It is like a 70s kind of rock opera. Just his hair, which is which is pretty impressive. Something I'm quite jealous of, because that will never happen to me.
Like you don't show nothing like in terms of costumes.
Sorry?
That you don't have any kind of development work in terms of costumes, or how do you, the clothes you're wearing. Are you really concerned about that?
We used to wear tracksuit tops, which isn't the most inventive costume ever, but it was kind of quite nice. And then when we first started, we used to wear ties and stuff, but then every single band wore ties, and it was just like, and then we went through like just looking how we normally looked, so we looked like plumbers, which wasn't particularly great look. So it's quite hard, you know. There's always like bands like Roxy Music in the 70s looked amazing, Devo, a real identity, but sometimes you can't force these things, and I think for us we'd feel a bit silly if we did all that.
So which would be like the average of fashion victims in the world of music?
Who's the worst?
Who's the fashion victim?
Yeah, in your opinion, which the average, the proportion of...
well, I just think some people...
If you pick 10 musicians, how of them are fashion victims?
I wouldn't want to call it an event, but I think people like music for different reasons. Some people like music because they like music. Some people like how it looks. So like if you're a kid in the 70s and you like Bowie, you might like him because he looks crazy, or you might like the songs, you know.
Yeah.
Or some people like music because it reminds them of the past. So we're kind of one of those boring, we like music because we like music people. But I don't know. I'm not going to call anyone a fashion victim, so I can't criticise other people's fashions when I look like I do.
So just to end, like, if you can suggest an image of ending that comes to your head,
Sorry, anyone?
how would you
How to write
express
it up.
as an the ending in an image?
David, actually.
Something that, any image that suggests to you an ending or the end of something.
The end of Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.